So I've been doing this 12 years, 11 months, 15 days. Okay? Used to be a prosecutor, used to be a litigator, all that. And one of the things I think about all the time is the trauma we deal with. Both personally, we all have stories, and then corporately, right? So I'm going to take you through kind of an understanding of trauma and what it does to us. I'm going to take you through some ideas of self-care, and then I'm going to take you through ideas about corporate care. How many of you are some type of management person? There's a bunch of great seats up front, guys. Great seats up right up there, and I'm going to be back here, so it's safe. We've already established we're totally good, totally safe up front. I'm going to go up there with them now. So, managers, lots of managers, right? Okay, so what I want to do is talk about strategies for helping your people, right? Okay. I have like 80 slides, so I'm going to go fast on some of these. Here's what I want to suggest to you. Let's try not to look at our phones for the next 59 minutes. Hi, good morning. Try to be present here for 59 minutes. My phone is up there. It's the furthest I've been away from it in months. Not lying, not lying. Actually, yesterday I was further because it was a bigger room. We are wired for connection. We are wired for connection. Come on up. There's great seats up front, guys. There's just great seats up front. Way up front, there's lots of seats. There's lots of great seats. Welcome. Yeah, I kind of do. I kind of do. We are wired for connection. Here's some pictures, folks, together. This is one, look at that, two people facing against each other, but two people inside them reaching out to each other, right? We are wired to connect with one another. I feel what you feel. Look at these pictures. Remember that? God, you can just be there, can't you? Right? You can feel what... Good morning. Good morning. How are you? I got to get out of people's way. You can feel what she feels. You can feel what he feels. I got to remember my clicker points back while I'm looking front. This one and this one. Dang clicker. Emily, help me out. What's happening? There. Oh, now I blew it. Boom. Look at that. You feel that. If I look at that on my computer for a while, I'm going to cry with you, right? The fancy people call it mirroring, mirror neurons. I don't know what it is. It's this idea that we reflect back, that the basic point of who we are is through connection, right? You can tell that whole story by that one picture, okay? Here's how your nervous system works. You got a parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest. You got a sympathetic nervous system, which is fight, freeze, run, right? Those are the two systems. What happens when this comes in your face? Right? How many of you are going to fight the bear? Right? If it's brown, lay down. We know that because we live in bear country. Yeah, that's what you do. How many of you going to run? Right? We got some runners. How many are you going to stand there thinking, oh, no, not today. It is a bad day to die. Right? Right? Okay. What if... did I do it again, Emily? Yeah, this is driving me crazy. What if the bear's in your cubicle? You wouldn't believe what you can find on Google. What if the bear is in your cubicle? What if you work in a place where you need security to protect you from the people you're serving? What if that's 24/7? What if everybody you deal with is hurting? You got bears in your damn cubicles. They always tell me not to swear, and I never quite get there. So I won't do it again. Well, I'm not going to promise. Here's what happens. Here's how parasympathetic and sympathetic work. If the bear is in your damn cubicle, if you work in a place full of bears, it can just build and build and build and build and build. Right? Up and up and up and up and up. Got to sit with your back against the wall at a restaurant. You don't like going to the grocery store. You know the deal, right? Your people are struggling with some of this too. Okay? This clicker, that's us, right? You got to go through this hell to get into most of our buildings, right? Look at that. That's us. How many of you have seen that or been in something, anything like that, any one of those pictures, right? You've been there, right? There's a ton of seats up front, guys. They're really, really good seats. And I move around. Yeah, the camera guy is blocking everything. So, we are in an environment that's got a bear in it. Hurt people, hurt people. There's trauma everywhere. You got to wait in a line like this to get into court. Your day is going to be hell. Guilty or innocent, whatever you got, right? Oh, and Emily's got to film me. Volume, public scrutiny, headlines. You know this deal. I'm probably pounding on your trauma way more than you want to after whining and dining all night last night, right? Right? I know you. Cortisol. Cortisol builds up. How many of you have heard of cortisol before? Right? It's your deadliest enemy besides texting and driving, right? It impairs your immune function. It gives you ulcers. It changes your cardiovascular system. It leads to heart attack. It leads to stroke. It changes your metabolism. It can lead to diabetes. It can lead to obesity. It can lead to sleep problems. I can't sleep, so I'm stressed. I'm stressed, I can't sleep. You know the drill, right? It can decrease your dopamine. What is dopamine? It's what makes life worth living. It ain't chocolate. It's the chocolate that triggers dopamine. It ain't sex. It's the sex that triggers dopamine. It's what we're doing. That's what your little phone is doing to you too. Bing, 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 dopamine. Bing, 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 okay? It affects your pleasure. It affects your motivation. It affects your concentration. It can create much greater addiction risk. Here's a list of got burnout. I think they give you my slides, right? So you have it. So take a look in private. You decide whether you tell your spouse or not, you know, how you scored and all that. But it's a way to ask yourself, do I have burnout? Where am I at, right? I've been doing this 12 years, 11 months, and about 15 days, and I've watched a lot of judges break apart. A lot of judges break apart. They get old, they get mean, they get cold, whatever you got, right? So the challenge to me, and the reason I think about this all the time, is how do I survive this damn job? Some of you ask the same question. Are Mondays hard? Mondays are hard, right? Okay, so, oh, this clicker drives me crazy. I like instant gratification. So, you know that about me already, don't you? I just do, and I can't stand still. Those guys in front are going to complain because I moved to the back. You're going to complain when I go to the front. So a long day of work, you're going home. This is a picture of a woman heading home with her lovely daughter after a day to decompress from all the crap she had to deal with.
Good afternoon, madam.
Yeah, I'm sorry, officer.
Can I see your papers, please?
Little girl's
Hello.
on the back.
Mummy in a bit of a hurry, was she?
That's not my mommy. It says, help, help.
Step out of the car, madam! Step out of the vehicle now!
Right, right. How many of you have kids like that? How many of you were kids like that? Right? So even when you go home, the little, it doesn't stop. It's not like you go home and everything's roses and chocolate, right? We're surrounded. What do we do? What do you do? Here's what we're looking for, and I'm going to spend the next bit trying to talk you through this. You saw the curve I sent before, up, up, up. You're stuck in your sympathetic nervous system. You're fighting or freezing or flying constantly, and you don't get off. The idea is to moderate that stress buildup. You are not going to escape this. Yeah, you can go work somewhere else. They got problems there too, right? They make a ton more money than us, so I think we should go there, but that's my escape hatch. You guys just stay where you are because you're smarter than me and you'll get better jobs than I would, right? You're gonna need to moderate the stress buildup. You gotta figure out how to do this. First, this is normal. Say it with me. This is normal. This is a normal response to what you're experiencing and what you see. This is normal, right? You're not bad, you're not failing, you're not weak, you're not, right? This is how we work. If we've got a bear in our cubicle, we're going to have trouble. We're going to have trouble. This is important work. I got to listen in on the last session, y'all talking about justice and equality in the future, and some of the hope expressed is so beautiful. This is hard, important work, okay? And it's the natural result of empathy and caring, right? If we're wired for connection, having these responses is totally normal. So just give yourself a break, right? Quit beating yourself up. First step. Second, it is okay to ask for help. We had a murder trial. It was my first murder trial. He made the beautiful decision to represent himself. Yeah. So I had a 3-week pro se self-represented murder trial with a guy who'd cut a guy's head off and was a huge security nightmare. Multiple bears in my cubicle, right? It really pounded me and my team. We were making plans about how to move so that we wouldn't get shot when they had to shoot him. We were trying to figure out, how do you run? Which way do you run? And we have these conversations on an occasional basis, but not because it might be now, right? So we agreed in typical Minnesota fashion, we're good. We're good. We're totally good. But we knew that there was some employee assistance stuff where they'd send somebody to debrief with us. So we made an agreement that if any one of our spouses said we should invite those people in, we'd invite those people in. And one of the spouses spoke up and said, "What are you, crazy? You call those people. You guys are sucking." Sucking isn't really swearing. No. You call us. We had this delightful woman in who spent about 4 hours debriefing with us. It was profoundly helpful. We just had a huge father-daughter crim sex case, and we did the same thing. I have 2 new people on my team. I called her in and said, "Karen, can you come back up? Talk us through it, talk us through it." It is okay to ask for help, right? For you and your peeps, right? And if your spouse says to, do it. No fighting, no, just do it. Promise me, just do it, okay? Then we got to make a plan. This doesn't come natural. Making these changes is difficult because I'm going to challenge you to change some really fundamental ways that you approach your daily life. If you don't do it, the cycle continues. And you're no help to your people either. You can't help your people if you ain't done your own work, right? This is all on the slides. I'm not going to read it to you. Write it down. Make a plan. Find somebody to help. Be accountable. Take this on as something that really matters. Just like if you got a strategic plan or a budget due or whatever, you're going to work your tail off on that. You got to work your tail off on this too. Is that fair? Fair? Pick this. I think this is important. Do one in each of these realms. In the physical realm, in the emotional or psychological realm, in the spiritual realm, and in the interpersonal realm. So on your worksheet, your plan, write those 4 on the top and pick something to do in each of them, right? You know I'm going to talk about exercise and not drinking as much wine as y'all drank last night. You shouldn't talk to me before we start. That's the problem, because that's where I get all my ideas from. Right? But pick the 4. Think about your spiritual life. Think about your interpersonal connections. Think about your emotional life. Increase your self-acceptance. That's why I started with this is normal. Just back the heck off of yourself, right? Accept yourself. Get used to yourself. Take some time, okay? I'm going to talk a ton about mindfulness in a bit. Here is my life mantra. The strength of the wolf is in the pack. And you can switch them either way. The strength of the pack is in the wolf. Strength of the wolf is in the pack. Strength of the pack is in the wolf. All right? We're in it together. We are in it together. But I want to talk about you first. How many of you have flown on an airplane? How many of you heard this speech? Put on your own mask before assisting others. You ain't no good unless you're doing your own work. You don't have to be perfect. You got to do your own work. You got to be digging into this a little bit on your own, or you're no darn good to anybody. Okay? The irony of me talking about this one is just shocking. My wife would be sitting here laughing, just laughing if she saw this slide. Say no. Say it with me. Say no. Hey, you don't get to tell me no. Well, never mind. Say no some. How many of you are able to say no? Right? A few, right? Right? It's really tough, right? Somebody's got 2 hands up. Good for you. Good for you. It's really hard to say no, right? Practice it. Make a list of all the crap you got going and cross one off and tell them no. Try it. It'll build. It's a skill. It's like lifting weights. It'll build. It really will. I've done it twice in 10 years, and I'm getting better at it. I am getting better. It takes you years. It really does. This is hard. Yeah. It's terrible. You're overcommitted. You're thin. You're spread out. Yeah. Eat right. And this is hard. Getting good food. I keep track of everything I eat. I keep track of my calories. I keep track of my heart rate. I can show you my heart rate for 2 years. I keep track of my exercise. I keep track. The thing I want to know is what's my resting heart rate. That's the number I keep track of. Because if I keep that low, and I can tell there are times when it's climbing up in a month, and I'll say, what's going on? Eating right can help a ton. Eating right can help a ton. And you know how you eat when you're sad, when you're depressed, right? Right? So it's a cycle. I eat bad, I feel bad. But this is all about a plan. You're not going to go out tomorrow and change everything, right? You'll never change everything, but you can make a plan to do one thing different. One thing. Do one thing. Sleep. How many of you get 7 or more hours of sleep? Wow! See? Who gets the most sleep? Anybody want to brag about their sleep? See, you won't. What do you get? Do you get a bunch? How many? What do you get? 9 to 6 a.m. She's the most effective human being in the room. You schedule your sleep. She's got her little book out. When I say make a plan, write it down, she's already doing it. Right? Sleep is like the thing. Lack of sleep is comparable to alcohol impairment, brothers and sisters. If you're we have 5 kids. I think I was 10 years of impaired. Sarah was twice the level of impairment. The cumulative effect, listen to this, of bad sleep, which is less than 7 hours, which is most of what you all are talking about. Weight gain, diabetes, high blood pressure, inflammation, depression. Sounds exactly like the cortisol list from the stress, right? So it's all hammering you in the same bad direction. Immune system, healing and recovery breaks down, right? So figure it out. Schedule it. Yeah, schedule your sleep. Figure it out. They got sleep apps that can tell you the quality of your sleep and what you're doing. That's why I keep track. Beware wine. Beware alcohol. Beware cocaine, heroin, benzos. Come on, you can tell me. Right? Seriously, if coffee were illegal, I'd be in prison. You ain't gonna stop me. No judge in a little black dress is gonna stop me. No way. But beware, because I know that when I'm particularly sleepy, or even when I'm not, I got my go-to. We're all walking around with our little jar of heroin, little jar of methamphetamine. And we all look down on blah, blah, blah. Although actually some research just came out the other day that says coffee increases longevity, so I'm doubling in, right? I had a buddy who went to his doc, he's a judge, and the doc said, how many cups of coffee do you drink a day? And he paused, and she said, do you not know? And he said, no, I'm thinking about whether to lie to you or not. 24 cups a day. Boom. Yeah, he's messed up. He's just totally messed up. You can reach over for coffee when you're tired. Wouldn't it be better to have slept? Right? And there's all kind of things you can do that can become problematic in your life. Some of y'all, when you're having emotional trouble, go shopping. Feel me? Feel me? You're having a fight. He did you wrong. She did you wrong. Delta, it's therapeutic. Delta Amex, so I'm getting points. I'm getting miles. Right? It's every bit. There's a famous doctor. You guys know Gabor Mate out of Canada? He's on the treatment side. He talks about his, and people giggle, he talks about his compulsive use, get this, of classical music. He has had weeks where he spent $6,000 or $7,000 on classical music, trying to fill the void of his history, right? We all talk about the substances, that's bad, ours is good, baloney, right? So think about it. I'd be in prison. I totally would. And I'd be trying to figure out how to get coffee in prison. I'm your guy. Move. Move. Get up and move. How many of y'all have stand-up desks? How many of your employees then have stand-up desks too? Some of your employees have them even though you don't. Our whole shop has stand-up desks now. After I was chief judge and working with the court administrator, I got one, love it. I don't sit down, I hate sitting down. All of our employees have that option. Every desk, every time we renew a workstation, you get the stand-up options built in. So you can choose, but it's built in. If you get a chance, Google the blue zone areas. They're the cultures that live the longest on our planet. One of the key things they do, and the reason I put it front and center, is they're gardening. They're outside digging in the dirt, eating good food. It doesn't have to be weightlifting. It doesn't have to be crazy stuff. Hockey, whatever. If that's your thing, do it. Keep doing it, but it's all about moving, right? You're going to say no to some stuff. You're going to eat a little better each month, each week, each whatever. You're going to stay away from cocaine and heroin. And then you're just going to move a little bit more. When I'm in an airport, I never take those trainy things or the escalators, or I walk. There's another plane, right? There's going to be another plane. If walking that little ways loses it for me, too bad. I got to walk because I'm sitting all day because I'm on a stupid airplane, right? Move, move, move. Figure out what you enjoy. Exercise beats cortisol. Say it with me. Exercise beats cortisol. If the bear is in your cubicle, exercise can help fight the bear back. Literally. Decreases tension, promotes relaxation, produces endorphins, lowers blood pressure, lowers cholesterol, reduces cortisol, right? There's more. Helps you with appetite and weight, helps your immune response, improves sleep, helps with alertness, attention, concentration, helps with mood. Exercise beats cortisol. You don't have to go all crazy and do an Ironman. Do more. And then next week, do a little more. Next week, do a little more. Okay? This is a marathon. How do you start? Ask your doc. Figure out what the problems are. Figure out what you like. Start slow. And schedule it. Put it in your book. Do you have exercise in your book too? Dang! You are a rock star. You got exercise, you got sleep, what else? Oh my word. Now I'm scared. She's got a huge planner of stuff. Good for you, yeah, right? Good for you. And little bits count. Do 3 10-minute things, right? You don't have to do a 30. You can get to 30. You can build to 30 if you want. Start. Start. What works for you? What do? We got sleep and exercise over here. Yeah.
I'm embarrassed to say that.
No.
Is this on? Okay.
Yep.
I sleep in my exercise clothes so that when I get up, all I have to do is slip on an exercise sandal.
Oh. Love that.
And get on my elliptical.
Good for her. Wow. You guys are way ahead of the curve. Who else? What do you do? And I'm not talking just exercise. Anything. What do you do? Poetry, music, what? What do you got? Come on. Somebody's going to speak up. Come on. Give me, what? Tell me about breathing.
Slow down and try to deep breathe.
Very cool. What does that do for you?
It immediately relaxes.
Right. Do you know what it does to your heart rate?
Probably makes it go down.
It makes it go down. Back row, you got something?
For me, in helping to say no, I ask myself, do I really want to do it?
Right.
If the answer's no, the answer's no.
Man, that's so good. Right? How many things do you do because they're just asking you? Because you're the best thing on God's green earth. Right? Who else? What else do you do? Something. Give me some ideas. Over here first, and then you.
I like acupuncture.
Acupuncture, yeah. What does acupuncture do?
Reduces the heart rate. It helps with, sleep, and it can really focus on any area
Cool.
you have need.
Cool. How about you?
Meditate.
Meditate. What do you do? What's your meditation practice?
Go into a quiet area, even if it means to get up from the office and close my eyes and count and just be still.
Yeah. You don't need an app for that.
No.
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 No, you don't need an app. There are apps for it, but yeah.
I have another one.
Yeah.
I repeat my personal affirmation a
Oh,
lot.
good. What is your personal affirmation?
Everything I need is streaming toward me.
Wow, good for you. We're gonna challenge everybody to shout one out at the end. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Excuse me. Want to hand that over?
I play with my grandson.
Oh man, grandkids. I don't want them soon, but I sure want them, right? Yeah.
That's the same thing I was going to say.
Grandkids.
When I have a rough day, I just call my grandbaby over,
Yeah.
and that's it.
That'll like ground you, give you perspective, gives you exercise, yeah. It's like, yeah. And it only costs you, what, $250,000 per child that you raise. Right? Anybody else dying to say one?
Garden and I look at my flowering plants
Garden
and I play
plants.
with them.
Good. Massage?
Massage.
Service? Helping other people out? Cool. Lots of different ways to do this. Anybody ride motorcycles? There's something beautiful about being on a motorcycle. You want to focus. You either focus or you die. Right? Is that you? It's a glorious thing, right? Especially when you ride alone. Ride alone, and you're in the flow, and you roll, yeah. God, I love it. I'm going to die on 2 wheels. The other thing I am. I ride my bicycle to work every day in Duluth, Minnesota. Working back. The coldest I've ridden is 28 below 0 Fahrenheit. Yeah, yeah. I have a picture, but I don't have enough time to show you. Nature. How many of you have an intuitive sense that nature is helpful for you? Right? Right? The research actually backs it up. They're hooking you up. There's actually a word in Japanese, I'm told, Shinrin-yoku, that talks about nature bathing and the power of being in nature. It can reduce your stress. It can be restorative. And catch this, here's a curveball. It doesn't have to be real. Real is best, don't get me wrong, right? It's like chocolate cake and sex, but doesn't have to be real. You can look out your window for a minute or two and you have benefit, okay? So don't think, oh, I got to go into the Adirondacks for 3 weeks. Find some nature, even if you don't have it right where you are. There are times where I will go to my happy place up paddling in northern Canada, and I'll just close my eyes and I will breathe, and I will be in nature for a moment or two, right? When I'm going in to do a really big sentencing, heavy stuff, I will always stop and look out my window, always, and I will breathe to try to carry myself through that, right? Nature is powerful. These are all pictures of stuff we've done in nature. There's my youngest, she's 13. We're paddling up in Canada. I winter bike. I wiped out, and so I thought, well, I better take a picture. Nature. If you can move in nature, what a good thing, right? Right? Costs you nothing. Let's talk about mindfulness. That was one of those pieces early on in the plan to make a mindful plan, or plan to be mindful. Some of you are doing meditation. There's a great psychologist out of Harvard. Oh, this clicker. Dr. Ellen Langer. Anybody heard of her? Great books out there. Mindfulness, we're all like, oh, what is that? That scares me. That sounds spooky. Do I have to wear sandals? Do I need a yoga mat? All that crap, right? Mindfulness is active noticing. It's the opposite of kind of that white noise in your brain where you're not there. This is why I asked you to try not to look at your phones for 59 minutes. Because our phones can be that, you're out for dinner and everybody's doing the phone bob, and right? Mindfulness is active noticing. She does a ton of experiments around the question of how does what you think about something change your experience, change your life. It's akin to the fact that if you look outside or imagine nature, you're getting some of that benefit. She did this fascinating experiment in England with chambermaids, the hotel staff who are working to clean your rooms right now, right? Lifting stuff, hauling stuff, moving those big carts, vacuuming, moving furniture that you tipped over, blah, 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 right? Pretty physical job. Pretty physical job. Way more physical than mine. Her question was, why aren't these people more fit, given all we know about movement? She created a treatment group and a control group. The control group just keeps doing business as usual. The treatment group, she made one change with the idea of seeing if it impacted their measurable functions of life. Hypertension, blood pressure, obesity, quality of sleep, etc. Hard numbers, not just how did it make you feel. Here was the treatment. We want you to think about your work as exercise. End of treatment. That is the one change she made for a whole host of chambermaids. What do you think it did to their resting heart rate, to their blood pressure, to their weight, to their sleep, to their diabetes, etc.? You're really going to take that phone call? Oh my gosh. She even left early. It was 10 o'clock with some judge. I'm like, I'm a judge. You don't have to listen to that one. The one change was, we want you, when you go to work, to think about, this is exercise. Do you think it impacted the hard data of their life? You're scared of me. Most of you think, no, but you're not going to say it because you know. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. It changed some of the hard data of their lives around cortisol, sleeplessness, stress, anxiety. Their numbers got better because they changed how they think about. That's mindfulness, right? It's being present and aware, and then it's having a mind about something, right? Oh, shoot, and see, there's that button. Emily, can you restart my program? I bought a clicker that shuts off when I hit the wrong button. Right there, yep. Oh, almost, yes. Thank you. I will only do that 1 or 2 more times. Here's the picture. This is mindfulness. This is presence. This is the way you want to live. She is watching the Pope come through New York City a couple years ago. She. Why do I say she? See her? See her? Yeah. Look at her. Emily, no, my clicker ain't working at all. There it is. Look at her. Look at all them. They're being us, except my friend with the schedule over here. I know what she'd be sitting there watching. She'd be sucking it all in, as opposed to being all over creation with all the, you know. How much time do you spend looking at all the pictures you took of 4th of July last year? None. None. But we can't, you know, we were down at the mall last night. Everybody's taking a picture of everything. Just look at it. Just for a minute, look at it. Don't take a picture of it and send it to your buddies. This is mindfulness. Let's try it. I want to teach you 2 things. My friend with the breathing already taught you one, but stand up with me. I want to teach you some breathing. You don't have to move, you just be where you are. This is called yoga breathing, or I train law enforcement, they call it tactical breathing. Whatever you want to do, you want to think your yoga breathing or your tactical breathing, go for it. Put your hand below your belt buckle and then another hand up on your chest and just breathe. What we tend to do as an American culture, I can't speak to the rest of the cultures in the room, we tend to chest breathe. So when we breathe, we're taking breaths way up high. Right? Raises your heart rate, etc. The vagal nerve runs through and down all of you and connects just about every system in your body in terms of nerve, emotion, etc. And you can activate that nerve by breathing deeply into your belly, right? So take a deep breath and try and breathe it down into your belly so that your lower hand pushes out. And then breathe it out. And then so belly first, then you're going to fill your chest in the same way. You're going to empty your chest, and then you're going to empty your belly. Keep breathing, yeah, don't stop. Okay, have a seat. Where can you do that? You don't have to touch yourself when you do that. Where can you do that? You can do that anywhere. And it'll drop your heart rate 10 to 20 points. If you're going into a meeting that's stressful, if you got some kid who wears a black dress who's going to yell at you, you just breathe. It'll help you 10 to 20 points on your breath. Let me do one more thing. This is from Mayo. You guys know the Mayo Clinic, right? Some big shots in Minnesota. This is one of their mindful exercises, so I want to walk you through it. We're going to take 2 or 3 minutes, and again, we're going to breathe together. Sit in a quiet place with your back straight, but relaxed. Okay? If you trust me enough, and there's debate, close your eyes with me. Feel your breath move in and out of your body. All you're doing is feeling your breath in and out of your body. Let your awareness of everything else fall away. We're just kind of paying attention to the breath. You can feel the air coming through your nostrils and back out. You can notice your abdomen expanding, contracting with the breaths. Your mind is going to wander from your breath. Just go back to it. You didn't do nothing wrong. You don't need to judge yourself. Go back to the breath. Not trying to be anything, not trying to be good at meditation. You're just becoming aware of you, your breath, and what's around you. Okay, come back to me, right? That's pretty cool, right? How much did that cost you? I guess the plane ticket to get here and all that, but, right? When you go home, you can do that anywhere. And that meditation, that awareness, and you can do it 1,000 different ways, guides you into mindfulness. It guides you into becoming that woman who is watching and experiencing everything, because you're aware and you're present, right? Meditation leads you to mindful states and mindful practice, right? Do I need a better clicker or what? Think it's the battery? There. Okay. Let's talk about your pack. Let's talk about who you lead. Here's a reminder. You know you don't lead court administration, right? Who do you lead? People. You lead people. You don't lead an organization. You don't lead an office. You lead people with the same connection, the same stuff, the same things going on as all of us have talked about and thought about in this last bit, right? You lead people. I want to suggest some ways to lead people, okay? In this regard. And I don't care if you're a big shot, a middle shot, or a low shot, you're still leading people, right? Every meeting you go to, every conversation you have, you guys are engaging, right? To be Krista Tippett, another Minnesota person, I'm a little biased, I'm sorry. She says to be a better leader, be a better person. Work on you, and be a better leader. Here's a guy, Richard Boyatzkis, who does a ton of work on emotional intelligence. Here's the qualities of effective leaders: mindful, playful, hopeful, and compassionate. How many of you saw that on your job application? How many of you had any questions at all, right, about whether you are mindful, playful, hopeful, or compassionate? That's what makes a good leader, because a good leader connects to people, right? I can yell at people all day long. Can I connect? Right? Right? See that? Google, if you're a research tech person, Google looked at it. It's called Project Aristotle. You can Google it. It's been in the New York Times. Box Book has it, a book called Work Rules. They did a boatload of research on what makes an effective team. Throughout almost everything each one of us thinks makes an effective team, and came up with these two things. Members speak in roughly the same proportion. If you got a team, hear from everybody. Secondly, it's got to be a psychologically safe place. Got to be a safe place. I lead teams all the time in my work. I collaborate nonstop. Job one for me is these two things. Everybody speaks, and it's a safe place, right? And if members of my team are attacking each other, we're going to call it out, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to get it back on track. You want to lead people, have those 4 qualities, and think about these 2 key indicators for your teams. And the question wasn't, are you a happy team? The question was, are you an effective team? Google ain't messing around. They don't want happy people. They want money. They want to be effective. Effective teams were this, okay? So it is not contrary to good work. In fact, it promotes and fosters and births good work, right? You got to be connected. Laugh. Laugh. How often are you able to laugh as a team in your office? Every time the judges walk out, right? Can you believe him? Who the heck does he think he is? Laugh. Laughter does some of the same stuff as all the good stuff we've been talking about. Laughter goes after cortisol. Laughter makes you healthier. Laughter brings you together. Think about ways to laugh in your work, literally, right? Rituals of positive emotion. There was talk in the last session about treatment courts. We've got this right. Rituals of positive emotion. These are Debbie's kids standing in my hallway. Did you ever see this? You'd probably know. Standing in my hallway. They said, a little girl, Maddie, sent us this poster. It gets blurry. It says, "Thanks for helping my mommy." You can't get into my treatment court without understanding that we're here to help mommies and daddies. And heaven help you if you want to hurt mommies and daddies, because I will bounce you out of there. I will try to change your mind, and then I will show you the door. Rituals of positive emotion. We have graduations. We have celebrations. We talk about the wonderful things that folks have done. Okay? Connection. This is modern life. We're all islands on our cell phones. Right? Right? It's so sad. It's so sad. I want to show you a 3-minute video. I think it's worth it even though I only have 10 minutes left. This is about connection. I won't repeat anything I've repeated already. It's an experiment in some street to challenge a stranger to come up and have eye contact with a stranger for 1 minute. We can't do it for 10 seconds, right? Yeah, yeah, right? Watch this for a minute. Isn't that cool? And you got to do it with soft eyes. You can't do it with hard, judgy eyes. Go home and do that with your partner. Try it. I dare you. I dare you. We are like islands in the sea, separate on the surface but connected in the deep. Everything about that video travels all through every word I've said to you, right? James Doty, Into the Magic Shop. Authentic social connection has a profound effect on your mental health. It even exceeds the value of exercise and ideal body weight on your physical health. It triggers the same reward centers in your brain that are triggered when people do drugs or drink wine or eat chocolate. In other words, we get sick alone and we get well together, right? One more idea to give you. Vicarious resilience. Have you heard that word? We talk all the dang time about vicarious trauma. There's a concept in the literature and the work with folks who help people who've been tortured recover. And it's called vicarious resilience. And it's this idea that we can look at all the bad and it will suck us in. We can't ignore the bad, but what we can do is we can look at the resilience. We can look at the resilience. I have people come into my courts every day who show so much resilience. What would my life be like if my stepdad started raping me in his deputy's uniform when I was 9 years old? How am I then a good mom? How does that even happen, right? We can look at people and see the bad, but we can also look at people and see the resilience, the response, the beauty, the potential, the life that came despite of, and in some ways, as an outgoing of where they've been. It can help us live better. We can see their resilience and be encouraged in our resilience. We can say, I see you. I see your resilience, and it's beautiful. Yes, you smoked marijuana. I see your resilience. I see the beauty of you and your community. This is a picture also from Minnesota. Sorry, I'm a little parochial. It's called the Witch Tree. That's on the edge of Lake Superior that I live on. That lake right now in my backyard is about 37 degrees. That tree lives on the edge of a rock. It's been there for 200 years. That is resilience, right? Badass little tree, right? And then you can turn that into the power to advocate for and assist others, your team and the people that you serve, right? You can do this, but it takes work. Tell me your mantras. I got one already. Give me. Yeah. Oh, let me. What's your mantra?
It comes from the poem Redemption by Warsaw Shire, and it's make the woman in doubt disappear.
Oh. Now you scared everybody off. I shouldn't have gone to her first. What else? Give me your mantra. What do you say? What do you tell yourself? Come on. Yeah.
I just say it too shall pass.
It too shall pass. Yeah.
Live, laugh, and love.
Live,
Laugh, and love.
laugh, and love. Beautiful. Back row is all scared now. I ain't come this far back. This is nice back here. Anybody got one? Oh, I did. Come on, give me one. Yeah. Okay, I'll come to you. 1 second.
I just say I'm worth it.
I'm worth it. Beautiful. Beautiful.
One day at a time.
One day at a time. I got a buddy who's a judge in Michigan, and he'll get like 30 files going, and his staff is like freaking out. He's like, let's do this one. Then we'll do the next one. Yeah, please.
If you like it, I love it.
I can dance to that. I'm going up front.
Be still.
Be still. Be still. Get yourself a mantra. Viktor Frankl, who lived through hell, says, those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how. You're going to go home. You're going to do soft eyes with your partner. You know you are. Because some kid who wears a black dress told you. You're going to make a plan. Seriously, make a plan. Do one little thing. Don't do two. Do one little thing. And then a week, reward yourself, and then do a second little thing. Right? Build slow. Build slow. Get a mantra. The strength of the wolf is in the pack. The strength of the pack is in the wolf. If my wife would let me, that would be tattooed on my body. We've been married 28 years, and it's going on my body someday soon. And then she's got to decide. Get a mantra. Be grounded in the great work you do, but be reminding yourself why you do it, how you do it, where you get the strength, and share it with your people, right? Broken, hurt people come to us all the time. We got to be ready for that. We got to take care of our teams so that everybody's able to do this very, 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 very valuable work. Which is not to say I'm not going to sell out and make $1 million somewhere, because I am. But, okay? There's my contact information if you want. Thank you. Peace. Peace.